So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Before I get into all the topics that I would like to share with all of you, I ask you a big favor. Please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. And if you can, and if you don't mind, don't forget to also subscribe to the channel if you can. Right, guys? It would really be appreciated from you guys. We try our best to bring you what's happening out there, right, guys? So let's get right into the show. The first thing I want to tell all of you out there that this is no other than a public service watch announcement channel. To help you recovering tomato cans, and I say that with all due respect. If maybe you already passed the recovering stages already and you're not no longer a tomato can. But we are a public service watch announcement channel, and we try to bring you always the truth and nothing but the truth. We don't gain nothing here, by lying to you in any way, because we're not buying your watches, we're not selling your watches, we're not selling any kind of merchandise. We're just strictly giving you, what I wish that I had many years ago in my life, somebody that can talk to me and give me some kind of leadway in something. So uh, that's what I'm doing. All right, guys. So again, I ask all of you to please cooperate with this channel with a like and exactly tomato can, recovering tomato cans. There are a lot of people out there trying to use my catchphrases. There are a lot of people trying to use tomato can, window licker, crayon eaters, possum kickers, cow tippers. But I just gotta say something to all those people out there. They're just a bunch of cheap knockoffs from the real thing. This is the real thing right here, Papa. This is the original one that makes them up. That makes up any catchphrase. You cannot continue being palmolive dish lickers. That's me. You cannot continue being crayon eaters. That's me. You cannot continue being possum kickers. That's me. All right, guys? So, enough of that. You know what's going on. This is the number one watch market update show in the world, chosen by no other than Fulinki. All right, guys? Good. We got that out of the way. I also want to talk to you a little bit about gold. I want to talk to you about gold, and it's very important that you guys, I know a lot of you out there are looking into precious metals, and I would too. But as you know, things around the world, with the owners of the world, they have everything erratic, and there's nothing that you can really pinpoint what's happening out there. I want to tell you that the price of the ounce of gold is at $3,450 and very, very strong, and I mean very, very strong. That gold at 34.15, believe me, is very strong. I want to talk to you a little bit about a couple of drops on some other precious metal, which is the silver. Silver was there at almost $40 an ounce, and it has gone down to $37 an ounce, and that's because of the owners. The owners of the world. Those people are unbelievable. They control everything. They like the Wizard of Oz. The guy who had everything. He would use all the machines. You know, to get Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion and Scarecrow. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. And but then the one that has really exactly the Puppet Masters, the one that has really surprised me. It doesn't scare me, but surprised me. Has been platinum. Platinum there for a moment. It looks like it was gonna take off, and it was all the way up. All the way up to $1,500 an ounce. And ladies and gentlemen, I gotta tell you with all honesty, it's one that I look at and I've been banking on it, but it has dropped all the way down. It has dropped all the way down to $330 an ounce. Okay, so just to let you know what's happening, what the situation with gold. I also want to talk about another subject that many people of our channel have reached out to me, asking me to please do a video or to do a live on the subject of these channels from all over the country. Like the Walrus, the Walrus, that he sells things, so you guys can continue maintaining his life. Guys, I have to use small words because we don't want to be under attack. We don't want to be under attack like the gentleman that I explained to you about that. He converted plastic into gasoline. He's under attack, and I talked to you about that gentleman, and it's something that we have to be very careful when we use words because the those owners, they can in any moment they could disrupt and do things with a push of a button. So I got to be very careful. So I ask all my subscribers that when I use a name and probably new new viewers don't understand what I am saying, please go ahead and help them out. All right. So you have people like the Walrus, that he's selling all those bubble gums and selling this, selling that, and you're gonna get a Ferrari and you're gonna get this, you're gonna get that. And then you also have the ones, the two toddler body brothers out of Miami, Florida. So, we have some of these subscribers which are asking me to please talk about that. And I'm just gonna say today I don't have enough time. That a boy, Pete. That a boy. I don't have enough time because I have a lot of territory that I have to cover. That I have to cover, and so I'm trying to say as much as I can. But I am gonna tell you that all those raffles, sweepstakes, giveaways, whatever you want to call it, ladies and gentlemen, that is something that maybe you shouldn't get involved because the only people that are winning there something are the ones they're doing it, the ones that are doing it, you know, and the ones that are winning it, they're in combination. Did you understand what I said? The one that's doing the raffles, the sweepstakes, are in combination with the person that wins. That's all a sketch. That's all a sketch. This is why all these people that are doing these types of giveaways and raffles, they can't do it in the United States of America. They have to go to, the other side of the pond or over there, where the tunic, the Iron Sheik tunic man is, over there, because there's not much, supervision, not like in America, the United States of America. And I'm saying all this for the gentlemen that have asked me about this. I'm trying to give you a short run. Nobody wins in that. The only winners are the ones that are doing the sweepstakes and the raffles, and the person that comes out and says, I got a brand new Rolex Daytona Panda, I want it, I want it, I want it. Or the one that says, I want a Patek Philippe 5164 Rose Gold, I want it, I want it, I want it. These guys are all working for a little payday, a little vacation coming from wherever they're coming from, whether it's from Europe, whether it's from, I don't know, California. You come down, take a couple of pictures, blow a couple of balloons, celebrate the cake, walk around with the two toddler body brothers, and these people are making big, big, big money, selling tickets for help me out with the tickets, guys. Help me out with the numbers. And people are just going bananas with that. So I hope you understand what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what it equals. And all these people are all making money. They're all making money and they're happy. And then there's people like myself and Kino to me, Joaquin to you, that we do all this for you guys for a bargain basement price of for free. We do it for free, and we have a lot of people that don't really like us because we're like vinegar and oil. Like vinegar and oil and all that good stuff. So I'm trying to give you a little rundown, sir, because you're asking me. You're asking me in a very, you want to hear something. So I'm telling you, this is for this is for lambones. Lambones. People that spend their time, dreaming about that. Get buying one of those things, they buy, that they sell to you, is for lambones. And let me tell you, so we get something clear. We're not just talking about the walrus, and we're not talking about the toddler body brothers. There's many of them out there. This is the way they're making a living. There's nobody, and I want you to know this. There's nobody that is buying watches out there. You need to get that through your head. I know it's difficult for you guys to believe it, and I'm gonna explain to you about that too. It's difficult for you to believe it. You got people still. You still have people. They'll write you a message, and in my channel they write you a message, and in the message they tell you you cannot say that the watch market is dead. Until I can walk in. Listen to the mentality of 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 the people that they're still out there. They are mesmerized like Pluto will mesmerize olive oil. From Papa. Every time that Pluto wanted to hook up with olive oil, he will give it the trance. The trance, and she would just dump Popeye and go with Pluto. And there's a lot of people out there. It's unbelievable, and I don't have the time to explain to them, but they tell you until I walk in to my ID and I can walk out with a Rolex Daytona, that's when I say the watch market is dead. Well, let me explain to you. Let me explain to you, sir. In my time, in 2006, 20 years ago, you couldn't walk in to an AD and say, I want a Rolex Daytona, and you had it. And I'm not talking about the two-tone. I'm not talking about a stainless steel yellow gold. You can get that. That was, it's a dog. You wanted a two-tone Daytona, they gave it to you. But the stainless steel with a white dial, the stainless steel with a black dial, you couldn't get it, right? So these people they believe that you could have, get these watches in the year 2006, just walk in and get it. You couldn't get it. Any Rolex watch that exactly that is a hype watch from Rolex, you can't get. You can't. You got certain Rolex Sky Dwellers that they're pretty. They have some meat left in the bone, and then you have some of them that dead in water. You have some GMTs that have meat in the bone, and some of them are dead in water, right? And you have subs, and you have some subs that they're dead in water. Who wants a Submariner, yellow gold and stainless steel? Maybe some of you do want it, and that's fine, but not everybody wants that. But this Lambong is telling me, and you laugh at them, like, because they still don't get the message. And we're not talking about just Rolex. We're talking about APs. We're talking about Richard Milles. We're talking about practically the whole line of Vacheron Constantin is dead in water. You know, you have APs that you have APs, you have the offshores. Who wants an offshore? Tell me who wants an offshore? They're dead. In my time, that was the most powerful watch you can get, the offshore. And the Royal Oak was sitting in the back seat. So some of these people, I just, you hear what they're saying, and you say, coño, leave them alone, man. Leave them alone, because they don't know what's going on. They don't understand what's going on. And I'm trying to explain to them, but is to no obey. No trabaja. It doesn't work. So you say, tú sabes, ya, deje eso tranquilo. Let me drink some jungle juice because I feel good today. Let me drink some jungle juice. And I'm trying to tell you all these things so you know what's going on, so you can hang in there. We try to bring you the truth. We try to make it funny for you guys, so you guys can relax. Relaxation, Mr. Damon. Relaxation. We try to make it like that so you guys can relax and just chill and feel at ease. But it is what it is. And I also I also want to talk about something else that sometime in April of 2025, I spoke about tariffs in Swiss, over there in Geneva, and they were talking sometime in April. They were trying to get to a number of a proposal of 31%, 31% for goods, coming in from over there, where they make all that beautiful Swiss chocolate and all that good stuff, 31%. And things were not really, really kind of straight with that new administration, the new administration, because the new administration, ladies and gentlemen, has to answer to Blackbird, and State Street and Vanguard and BlackRock and the Bohemian Grove, which just finished, yesterday. The private parties have finished already, and and all that. And as of August the 1st, that new administration, they said already that by the 7th of August, there is a 39% tariffs. And I've been telling you that the watch market is dead. The watch market is dead. I mean, 39%, Papi. If you still don't get it and you still want to be skip hopping around through life like a bunny rabbit with a lollipop sucker in your mouth, that's up to you. I've been warning you guys for a very long time. And the dark times are coming. I've been telling you to buckle up. You're going to see a bunch of dealers and stores like the ones that I'm seeing. That's it. This is what it is. Ya no hay más carne en el hueso. I said in Spanish, there is no more meat left in the bone. At 39%, Papi, you're talking about any watch that comes from over there. Forget about Rolex. Rolex has been hyping up the price for the last 4 years, since the Corona beer era. I mean, you have a bunch of people that they're gonna tell you, many different scenarios, But Papi, the truth is, if they would just say, listen, guys, at this moment the watch market is dead. Let's stop it already, con vacilón. It is, listen to what that Latin guy says. He says it wrinkled and that's it. 39%, 39%. And this is something that it was coming since April. They were playing with the number of a 31%. You know, it was based on you know, the liberation. You know, you know, they use these big words. You know, these, you know, propose at 31, and papi, this is, these people want to get paid. This is a business, and they all want to get paid. The bottom line is, it's all money. It's all money. You know, they have to get you one way or the other. They're gonna get you. If you guys think, because some people still believe that we were the only ones getting government bailouts. You know, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it was the whole world. The whole world was giving money. The whole world was giving money. You know, over there was getting money. Over there was getting money. They were all getting money. And all these people want their money back. You know, they want their money back. And these people don't play with millions of dollars. These people don't even play with billions. These people pay with trillions and trillions of dollars, ladies and gentlemen. You need to wake up, man. You need to wake up. Yes, watches are beautiful, but papi, don't put all your money in watches, man. The watch market right now is, and let me tell you, I told you that the months of July and August, you know, hold on, you can buy them. Listen, man, the watch market up that I'm going to give you today, the watch market update that I'm going to give you today, I'm even going to tell you, listen, man, just keep on waiting, man, because those prices are just dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. You know, I'm dropping. I'm telling you, you guys don't want to believe that. Like the gentleman that was saying that until, you know, I heard that same story. Until I don't walk into a Rolex AD, I won't believe the watch market is dead. You know, because these are backpackers, these are dealers, you know. But then they don't tell you, you know what? The rest of the catalog from Rolex is completely dead. Because if right now, if I make, give me 5 watches from Rolex that you want, I know which of the 5 watches. But the rest of the catalog, nobody wants them. You want a Daytona, white or black, you know, ceramic. You want a Yachtmaster titanium, you know? You follow me what I'm trying to say? You want this GMT. You want this Oyster Flex with a Tiffany dial. And then the rest is dead. The rest is dead, papi. The rest is dead. I don't even know, because I'm already kind of dizzy, I don't know if this was, you know, a strategy that Rolex is doing to get out, to clean the house of all these secondary grade watch market. You guys don't know. Remember, the Rolex doesn't talk. Rolex está así, mira. You know, Rolex is quiet. They don't have to say a word because they are. Rolex is the king. You know, Rolex is the king. Look at the crown. Look at me. Look at the crown. The rest son unos lambones. The rest son lambones, papi. And this is bad. People don't want to believe it, that we are entering. They say that August the 1st, fall is about to get here. And it gets kind of chilly, you know? And you have all these different wars going on. And you know, you don't want to see those people, you know, fighting in the winter time, you know, those countries, you know, those poor souls of Ukraine and Russia. They don't want to fight in the winter time. If you go over there and fight in the winter time, you know, they jode. They jode, papi, they jode. You know, it's impossible. It's impossible. So again, if you already heard about the 39%, and I'm going to give a shout out to people that wrote down and sent some posts and messages regarding the tariffs, and that's beautiful. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Jim Sable. You know, he got an article from no other than Fudinki. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Christopher Agori. If I pronounce it wrong, I'm sorry. Please forgive me from the bottom of my heart. You know, he wrote something down too. And also, the first one that I saw that got it there, I gotta say with all honesty, was Mr. Damon. You know, he sent me that, and you know, it's bad what's happening out there. And then they tell you this because these people are unbelievable. These people that own the world, they tell you, you know, we have a 39% tariffs, you know, for the Swiss exceptions, you know, for Swiss pharmaceuticals, you know, medicina, you know, Tylenol, you know, all that stuff, clonazepam, Elavil, you know, that don't do it. But because you know it's what it is. But the chocolate bars, 39%. Papi, it's what it is. I told you, and I'll keep on telling you this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you. And then I'm gonna change it for a second here because I have to. I have to change it. I was watching an article on a store that opened somewhere, I believe in the West Coast. And the store, you're not going to believe this. You know, this was like the same as when the Cabbage Patch, you know, I don't know if I said it right, the Cabbage Patch, you know, Fury came around in the 80s. There were lines and lines and lines and lines. But these people, the owners of the world, they know how to play us. They know how to play us completely, papi, with a push of a button. You know, la bubu. You know, la bubu. You know, la bubu is a little figure. You know, a little un peluche, a little stuffed animal. You know, and people, lady, you're not gonna believe this. If you guys saw what I saw, please put it up there that you saw it. We're talking about probably a couple of miles of people in line waiting to get la bubu. Because this is the way they distract us. You know, the masses get distracted. You know, we're like the sheep. You know, we're like the sheep. The masses are being distracted. They're finishing with us. And I'm telling you, something big. This is again just my personal opinion. My personal opinion. But I would like to know if you guys feel that way. Do you think something is big happening? You know, behind, you know, the Wizard of Oz curtains? You know, something big is happening? You know, because something is happening big, ladies and gentlemen. The money, you know, I've been telling you for some time that a dollar buys you today a nickel. I've been telling you for 4 months, a dollar today buys you a nickel. And it's the truth, you know. Some of us already, like myself, that I'm already in my 60s, you know, I got a couple of more shaves in my life left, and that's it. But these young kids, they're after, you know, after the other kid that they have them there as a puppet too, you know, a puppet. Let me tell you something. This is the biggest puppet that I have ever seen in the music industry. I'm talking about that young kid, that Bad Bunny. You know, Bad Bunny. Listen to me. This is the biggest star. If you guys don't know this, you're going to hear it today from me. That is the biggest star right now in the world. There is nobody bigger than him. Bad Bunny is even making the movies of Happy Gilmore. You know, he's making movies with Brad Pitt. He's anything that he touches, it turns to gold. Ladies and gentlemen, this kid, Bad Bunny, Calvin Klein didn't sell. You know, the last time that Calvin Klein sold, you know, underwears and jeans was when Brooke Shields said, the only thing that comes between me and my Calvins, you know, I don't know, that commercial, you know, was that Brooke Shields. And now you got this guy making movies with Brad Pitt, you know, Bad Bunny. But let me explain to you. That Bad Bunny he's a puppet. He's a slave. He's a slave that works for the elites of the world, you know? And after they finish using him, you know what happens to them. You know what happens to them. You know what happens to them. The slip and fall, the heart attack, you know? When the purpose is over, you gotta go. You gotta go, and that's it. The owners of the world don't care. They have an agenda, and they have to push that agenda until it's completed. I'm getting out of, I shouldn't be talking that way because a lot of you people don't even understand what I'm talking about. They fall out of a window. They fall out of a window. You remember when that Tony Monero from Saturday Night Fever. Tony Monero. That guy Travolta John. Travolta John. He went over there to the Bahamas over there, and he had a child. This is sad. He had a child that the child wasn't. He had some health problems. And when he had that child, the child, they said he slipped and fall in the bathtub and hit his head, and you know, that's it. But I'm telling you all this because a lot of you are not aware of these things. You also have the situation with that Jeffrey guy. Jeffrey guy. And you also have the guy from the new administration, and he's saying that I was never there, that I was never there, and that I was never there. You saw. I'm gonna tell you one more so I can get out of this. And I told you this. I remember exactly when I told you this. I told you this in the month of April. I told you, that boxer, there's, throwing money away like confetti and throwing money like confetti and throwing money like confetti is going to come to an end. Have you heard him again? Have you heard from him again? Listen, let me tell you, when those men in black come and visit you, you don't understand about that. You guys don't understand, and that's fine. But when they come to visit you, it's what it is. I know what I'm telling you guys. Exactly, the boxer. That guy. He was worth $1.5 billion. It's something crazy. You don't hear from him no more, and that's how it is. It is what it is. Listen, I'm a nobody. Exactly. That's the guy. I'm a nobody. So what can happen to me? What can happen to me? Yo soy un lambón. I'm a lambón. I'm a lambón that's pretty a little bit aware of life the way it is. That's it. But these are for these people that sell there. You know what they sell, right? They sell. They're in trouble. They're in trouble when they sell themselves. They're in trouble. Anyway, guys, I think I covered everything pretty much with you guys. I'm gonna give you a watch market update. I'm gonna keep on, bringing you knowledge and bringing you real things and facts. But listen, the watch market is dead, and the prices that I'm gonna give you today, I'm gonna be honest to all of you, don't really, those prices, more. It's disgusting. Don't, I know what I'm trying to tell you, so be very, very careful. I have a gentleman that requested 3 watches, and I need to give him these 3 watch models, that he wants, because it looks like he really wants to buy them, and he wants to know prices. And here it goes, sir. This is for you. I think his name is Sad. Sad. First watch is a Rolex stainless steel Sky Dweller with a Jubilee bracelet, 42 millimeter. Unbelievable looking time machine. Reference number is the 336934 with a Jubilee bracelet, blue dial. Retail price is $16,600. And I'm going to tell you, sir, Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. It's your money. Do whatever you want. Spend it as you please. Give it away if you want. But don't pay for that watch more than $21,000. That is the Jubilee bracelet, Mr. Damon. Jubilee. But I'm also gonna give him an Oyster bracelet watch market update with a blue dial. With a blue dial. The reference number of that watch is the 326934 with an Oyster bracelet and a blue dial. Retail price was $15,650. And I'm going to tell you, sir, you do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch that at one moment in the Corona era, it was worth over $35,000. You guys don't believe me that watch was worth over $35,000 in the Corona era? Just give me a thumbs up so I can know that at least somebody knows that what I'm talking about is the truth. You know? $35,000. That Oyster bracelet blue dial sky daughter was worth $35,000. Don't pay for that watch today. I see nobody knows it. Don't pay for that watch. I got a bunch of tomato cans here. I'm joking, guys. Don't pay for that watch more than seven. Thank you, Pete. Don't pay for that watch more than $17,900 in dropping. You do whatever you want, right, guys? That's for you, sir. And this is his second watch that he also wanted. The second watch that he wanted is a Rolex. Two-tone Daytona with a diamond black dial, or whatever should be the dial. We're going to say diamond black dial. 40 millimeter, Reference number 126503. Retail price is $22,250. Sir, you do whatever you want. But two-tone watches, with all due respect, are more economic than anything that's or gold or stainless steel. Not in the middle. Not in the middle. It's not it doesn't keep the strongest numbers. And I'm going to tell you, you do whatever you want for that beautiful watch because it's a beautiful watch. You're talking about a Daytona, stainless steel, yellow gold, black dial, diamond, diamond black dial. Beautiful. Don't pay for that watch more. And I tell you the price, $22,250. Don't pay for that watch more than $21,500. Right, guys? You got that one, right? And this is the last one that he wanted. A Rolex GMT Sprite, 40 millimeter, Jubilee bracelet. I repeat, Jubilee bracelet. This watch in the Corona era, left-handed watch, was over. And if you guys don't believe me again, somebody give me a thumbs up. That watch was over $40,000 to $45,000. $40,000 to $45,000. Unbelievable, that Sprite, And we're talking about at that time, it was at $40,000 to $45,000 was the Oyster bracelet. Oyster bracelet. It's unbelievable, but true, ladies and gentlemen. And you're not going to believe this. It has a retail price of $11,650. And I'm going to tell you, for the Oyster bracelet, sir, the Sprite, don't pay for that one. I don't know what you want. I'm going to give you both of them. I'm going to give you Jubilee and I'm going to give you Oyster because I'm that kind of a guy, I'm going to give you both of them. Don't pay for the Oyster. Don't pay more than $13,800. And I'm telling you, these prices are going to be dropping faster than Bill Clinton's pants. People don't want to get caught holding the bag with all these watches. They don't want to get caught. They don't want to get caught. You got a guy out there, man, which I call Uncle Johnny in a sweet way, Eddie Monster. It's unbelievable. What a resemblance. It looks like Eddie Monster. I call him Uncle Johnny. If you don't know who Uncle Johnny is, ask one of your friends. One of these subscribers. They'll explain it to you. He has we don't know what he has there. We don't allegedly people saying that those are a bunch. Listen to what I'm saying now and listen to me very, let me finish with this Sprite. I tell you, don't pay for the Oyster bracelet, $13,900. Okay. And I'm going to tell you now, don't pay. That could be it, Mr. Nelson. That could be it. Don't pay for the Jubilee. Jubilee, the Jubilee. Don't pay more than $15,300. You can do whatever you want, sir. I'm only telling you what I believe you should pay. That's what I do here. I don't do nothing else. You guys don't give me nothing else, and I don't ask you for nothing. I do it because I want to do it. I get entertained by doing this. I got too much. I'm gonna drink some jungle juice. I can continue talking to you about Uncle Johnny, in a sweet way, Eddie Monster. And then allegedly, you got people they're mumbling, the mumble jumble, and they're telling you, well, you don't know who he has in all those in that big Samsonite suitcase. If those were a bunch of, you put them in the little sleeves, the watches there. You don't know if those things are, they're over there for Ching Jing, and you put them all in there. You put there 400 pieces in there, for Jing Jing, and I show it to you fast, quickly. Here it is, pop, pop, throw it in there. I'm sure in the mix of things, you find a couple of real diamonds, in life, But then the rest you got, zirconians, lab, you know. And it's the same thing with the watch business, And you people go crazy because, those are. I'm not saying that that's what it is, but allegedly, since these people from over there from 47th Street, the Diamond District, with the subway train jumper, his son vacuum, the other kid, the genie, they hit him in the head and they took $500,000 and he came out in Fox News. Papi, these people are all broke already. Están todos jodidos. There's no money, papi. Están jodidos. That lifestyle costs a lot of money, And he's going over there with the big attaché with all those watches, and they say that 70% are from Ching Jing and 30% are the real thing. So you can mix it up, and people go nuts. And if you don't know what I mean, that's not my problem. I tell you what it is. I don't wanna continue because we have too many connections, and honestly, Kino's from the streets. Kino's from the underworld, Kino's from the underworld, and they told Kino, and they tell me too that a lot of people really appreciate everything that we're doing. This is for real. There's a lot of people that appreciate what we're doing. They really appreciate our efforts that we're doing, And then there's a lot of people that they'll give an eye to see us blind. You don't know that one either? You know who showed me that one? Paco Gambino. Paco Gambino showed me that one. He says, Juan, in life, there are people that'll give an eye away to see you blind. Believable, that Paco Gambino. He's unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Panerai Lumina Pan 00393 rose gold brown dial 42 millimeter. This watch is a limited edition. Panerai, 500 pieces around the world. Around the world, 500 pieces. It's a beautiful watch. Rose gold brown dial, with a rubber green strap. It's an unbelievable. And let me tell you, I'm a big fan. I am a big fan of Panerai watches. I myself have a Panerai watch which I care, and I bought it too. It was one of those limited edition ones too. I also fell for becoming a Lambon, and I bought it, but I do like Panerai watches. And this watch is beautiful, with a sapphire case back. It's unbelievable, And the retail price of that watch is $25,200, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to tell you, sir, don't pay for that watch and you want it full set. If it ain't full set, you don't want it. Use slider condition material watches. If you don't get it, you don't want it. You don't want it. But don't pay for that watch, sir. Don't pay for that watch more than $12,800. You do whatever you want. It's your money. You do whatever you want. You know, you do what it is. It's a very popular watch, Eddie. It's a very popular watch. Some people, you know, I'm telling you, this is a. I'm gonna be honest. That Panerai that I just right now finished telling you, that's a monster watch, man. Monster watch. But the watch market is dead. You only have. Listen to me. In the game, in the game of watches, you only truly, truly, truly have four watch brands. Four watch brands. Tell me the four watch brands that I'm thinking, that I know. Which are they? I want to see what you guys are gonna put. Tell me the four watch brands. I want to see you guys put four watch brands. I want to laugh a little bit while I drink some ginseng. But let's say Nelson, an example, Nelson. Give me four watches that you believe are the ones that have, meat left in the bones. Give me four. Four. Vacheron, Constantin, Rolex, and Seiko. Rolex. Give me four. Patek. I want to hear the four that you guys think. Paco Gambino is a philosopher. He is, I'm telling you. Un ojo por verte ciego. An eye to see you blind. That's how it is. I want to know. Okay, Rolex. Wow. Okay, there it is. You see that? There's always a smart person. There's always a smart person. Somebody put Lang and Son, Bulova. But there's always someone that stands out, And I believe it was Doc Mick of Florida. He put four things. Rolex 1, Rolex 2, Rolex 3, Rolex 4. That's what he put down, Rolex. Papi, that's the game. That is the game. It's Rolex. Okay, right there. Rolex, AP, Panerai, and Patek. Rolex, Patek, Vacheron, Constantin, and AP. Right there again, Doc. I'm going to say you are in target. You cannot put in those four watches. Don't put Richard Mille. Those things are dead. That is a sucker's bet watch. It's over. The fever is almost over. It's almost over. It's here. It's right there. It's right there. People think that that's it. And it's over. It's over. You have those four that you guys just going to say, and I'm happy to see that you guys know it. Those are the four watch brands. Forget about the rest, Papi. Forget about the rest. We're talking about 50 cents to a dollar on the other ones. 30 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents. At 60 cents is too much. The rest is 40 cents. And I'm telling you what it is. But they're not going to tell you the truth. But I will because I'm stupid like that, Dr. Evil. I'm telling you, Dr. Evil. I'm stupid like that. I'm stupid. But it's the truth. You guys cannot. But again, I'm going to go to Doc Mick of Florida. He said 4 times, Rolex, 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 Rolex. That's it. He's the king. The king of watches. That's it. The rest is Pucci Pucci. It's Pucci Pucci. Everything is Rolex. Everything is Rolex. Let me tell you something right here. This is a Rolex yellow gold GMT Jubilee bracelet, 40 millimeter. Reference number 126718. The Bruce Wayne yellow gold. With the black dial and the black and grayish. Bezel, unbelievable. Beautiful watch. $44,600 that watch. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you this price, and I'm not telling you to even buy it. And I'm not even going to tell you to pay for it. I'm just going to tell you what I got to give you these numbers, but because that 39% tariff is over, Papi. So that's gonna be. I mean, that's FUBAR. That's FUBAR. Genocide. It's unbelievable. I know what I'm telling you. Don't pay for that watch, for that GMT yellow gold Jubilee bracelet. Don't pay more than $38,500. You do yourself the favor. You can continue giving your money away. You can continue. You guys don't want to see the truth. You know, it's like the horses. They're running the Kentucky Derby and Belmont, and the Preakness. They put them like this. They can never see nothing. They got to see straight away, and that's it. That's how they have you guys, porque son unos lambones. Son unos lambones. Don't pay for that watch. Don't pay. You do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. I spoke to you on Monday. I remember. I gave you this watch. I said a Richard Mille RM6701 Rose Gold. RM6701 Rose Gold. White strap. And I gave you a price of something of $200,000 on that watch. 204, 203. And ladies and gentlemen, you want to hear this price today? You want to hear this price? And you might think, but one, because you saw one watch? No, because I saw six. Because I saw six. Six. Like this. Don't pay. Don't pay for that Richard Mille 6701 Rose Gold white strap. Don't pay more. I mean, you do whatever you want. Richard Mille watches are dead. Richard Mille watches are dead in water like this. Dead. Dead. Don't pay more than $181,000, Papi. He's dead. He's dead. The party is over. I don't care if they're selling you STD material, STP, NTPT, whatever it is. He's dead. He's dead. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex stainless steel Land Dweller. 36 millimeter. Listen and learn, guys. Listen and learn. Listen, I'm not telling you to pay for these watches. I'm giving you a number only. I'm not telling you. I wouldn't buy none of these watches. I wouldn't buy none of these watches. None of them. None of them. None of them. Rolex stainless steel Land Dweller. 36 millimeter. Reference number 127234. White dial. Retail price $14,450. This watch is dropping faster, and I mean faster, than Bill Clinton's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. You ever seen lately Bill Clinton's eyes, the way he looks? I'm telling you, I know what I'm telling you. And this watch, ladies and gentlemen, when it was first released, this watch was over strong $40,000. Strong 40, 45, 46, unbelievable. The 36. And I'm going to tell you today, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch. Don't get scared. It's only a number, Papi. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. You know it's dropping, Thurston. Thurston Howell III knows that watch is dropping. Papi, the retail price is $14,000. $14,450. Lou, Thurston, Damon, how much am I going to tell you to pay for that watch? I'm not telling you to pay for it. I'm just telling you, how much am I going to say? What number am I going to say? Let me see. Nobody knows. But I know. I'm self-proclaimed. I am the best. I know. Pete, that was a good number. That was a good number, but it's not it. And I'm going to give you the number. Here it goes. Ready? This thing has been dropping since April. Every week, every day. Don't pay for that watch, for that 36 millimeter. Land Dweller White Dial Stainless Steel, 36. Don't pay more than $31,000. Wow. Okay, David, $31,000. It's gonna be there, David. It's gonna be there. It's gonna be there in 28. Don't pay more than $31,000. Bobby, you're talking about a lot of these people got these watches. Some of them outright got it from their ADs. Some of them have to grease up, 3 beans, 3 beans. There's a lot of meat left in the bone in that watch. You do whatever you want. Our next watch is the Patek Philippe Aquanaut stainless steel travel time 5164 with a 40.8 millimeter casing. Retail price is $42,580. Do yourself a favor and don't pay more. And I mean, don't pay more. Don't pay more than $69,500 in dropping. Our next watch is a watch that we have in the family. My son has this watch. I gave it to him. It's a Rolex stainless steel Submariner. I call it in a sweet way, Froggy Legs. Froggy Legs, 41 millimeter. Green dial, black dial, reference number 126610LV with a retail price of $10,800. 2024, with all the bells and whistles, use, slightly conditioned. Don't pay for that watch. And I mean, don't pay for that watch more. I mean, you do whatever you want. It's your money. But don't pay for that watch more than $12,200 in dropping. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex stainless steel, beautiful. Oyster Perpetual, red dial, red coral dial, 41 millimeter. Reference number 124300. Retail price is $6,400. Those watches that were, look at that, 14.5. 14.5. Wow. Is that the number you're saying, Doc Mick, on the red coral? You saying that number, 14.5? Let's find out if that's the number he's asking. You're saying, we got to find out. Thurston Howell. Okay, Thurston Howell. Wow. I'm telling you, Thurston Howell has become a student of the game, not of me, of the game. Yeah, the retail price of that watch is $6,400. And at one moment this watch was over, just in case you guys don't know that. In the Corona era, it was over $20,000. $20,000. After the Tiffany blue was that watch. It was up there. But I'm going to tell you because Thurston the Howell, I believe he said $13,000. $13,000. Talking about you. Don't take a shit. Don't pay for that red coral dial. Don't pay more. He said 13,000, and we're honest in this channel. Don't pay for that watch more than $13,600 and dropping. Right? There it is. It is. Exactly. There it is. Over $30,000 in the Corona. I didn't say that. Mr. Pete, the watch collector, said that. You know what? He said it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have here another gentleman that asked me for this watch. And I'm going to give him the two models. We're going to be talking about the Patek Philippe stainless steel 5990 with a gray dial. Gray frosted dial. In New York, in the snow, when the snow started, melting, it became like slush. It wasn't white. It wasn't gray. It was like a frost. It was dirty. Kind of dirty. And this is that dial right there. Beautiful watch. They call it the travel time. Chrono, 40.5 millimeter casing. Retail price $73,053. That's right. And I'm gonna tell you, because you want that watch, sir. You know, and they were selling you one over the, what I'm going to say, over that. Don't pay for that watch. I mean, don't pay for that watch more than $99,000. And I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm just giving you a number because I'm telling you with the tariffs that are going on, what's happening in the world is upside down. Not for them, not for them. They're all right. It's for people like you and me. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. I mean, there's gonna be some moments here, man, that I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Thurston Howell right now just finished talking about the stock market and all that. He knows something. And when people know something, you have to let them know you know something, and it's coming. It's coming quick. It's coming quick. So I gave you the frosted gray Dow 59.90, but I'm gonna give you now this sunburst blue Dow. The new one that came out. The blue Dow, stainless steel with the blue Dow, and that watch it went all the way up, all the way up. They had them on all those platforms, 179, 160, 180, all these, what I'm trying to say, all these wiper prices, wiper prices all over again. It's all over. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about, Dr. Evo. You know too much. You people know too much. I can't repeat it no more because I'm going to sound like a broken record. So your comments is what I'm going to say, but let me not say because, I'm going to get people still telling me, I believe the watch market is dead. I will believe the watch market is dead when I go into a AD and I come out with a Daytona stainless steel Panda. Come on. Come on. ¿De qué me estás hablando? Don't pay for the blue Dow, 59.90. Don't pay more. Sir, listen to me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't pay more than $126,000. You do whatever you want. Same retail price, $73,000. You do whatever you want. I don't care if they're telling you 170, 160, 150. That's the number that I believe. You do whatever you want. Our next watch is a Rolex. Now listen to this, guys, because this is something that you should listen to. I really mean this. And this watch has fallen in my lap. I don't know how many times. In my lap. Hey man, take the watch, Juan, play with it, look at it, blah, 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 blah. We're talking about, like I told you again, you have some sky dwellers, they have some meat left in the bone. The blue, the mint green, those watches. But let's say this one over here. This is a Rolex Sky Dweller white gold with an ivory dial. Ivory dial. Beautiful watch. Bobby, beautiful watch, man. It makes such a big statement because it's just so quiet that it's a monster watch. Retail price is $52,000. Monster watch. This watch was released in the year 2013. Listen, guys, listen to this. This is a full set, full kit. It even has the white tag on this watch. You can't give it away. You can't. Listen, Thurston, how's that? I'll leave it to you. What's the price of that watch? What's the price, Thurston? What's the price? What's the price? I want to hear Thurston's price. Or Dr. Evil. I want to hear Dr. Evil's price. Or Pete. What's the price? Nobody knows? Nobody knows. But you can't give it away. They're right. You can't give away this watch. You cannot give it away. Okay, $30,000. There it is. One more. $23,000. You know what? Ding, 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 ding. We have a gentleman by the name of Christopher. They used the number $23,000. We have Alex saying 52. Thurston saying 30 if it's clean, that clean, you know? And I'm telling you, this watch has all the bells and whistles. This watch has never been polished. How's that? And it's from the year 2013. Rolex Sky Dweller white gold with an ivory dial. A gentleman by the name of Christopher said 23. We don't lie in this channel. We don't lie. And here's the price. Retail price of that watch, I told you, it's over $50,000. Don't pay for that watch. Don't pay. And if you can get it, man, you know, the way that they're selling it to me, if you can get it, we have a price of 38 by Nelson. 38. We're still going to hang out with Christopher. We're still going to hang out with Christopher. He said $23,000. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. Reference number 326939. 42 millimeter from the year 2013. $50,000. Don't pay for that watch more than $25,000. $25,000. Somebody said they can't even give that watch away. $25,000. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex. White gold. Oyster Flex. Yachtmaster. 42 millimeter. You know? Black ceramic, black dial. Unbelievable. Retail price, I'm going to tell you, is $35,000. But I want to stop there for a second. This is an Oyster Flex. One of the most comfortable watches that I have worn in my wrist has been an Oyster Flex watch. You know, whether it's a Daytona, Sky Dweller, you know, and this one is a Yachtmaster. That Christopher's a bandit. Christopher's a bandit. Christopher's a bandit. Oh my God. So the reason I'm talking about this watch, 42 millimeter. You have a titanium Rolex Yachtmaster, black dial, black ceramic bezel, that it has a retail price of $15,000, right? And now they're asking for that watch. It went all the way up. Oh, exactly. There you go. All the way up to $25,000. And you can buy a precious metal. We're going to go back to Christopher now. Christopher, what did he say? $22,000. $22,000. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, because you need to know the truth. If I'm going to buy between that titanium and a precious metal, man, I mean, for the price, you know, white gold, 42 millimeter, it has the same combination, black dial, black ceramic, you know, Oyster Flex, beautiful watch. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm stupid like that, don't pay for that watch more than $23,500 and dropping. Don't buy those watches. I'm only telling you what I believe. I wouldn't buy none of those watches. Not at this moment. Not after that 39% tariff, you know, that's going to go in effect. I believe today is the 2nd, you know. I believe by Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday. It should be already at the 7% and it's kicking in. You know, 39%. Papi, Rolex again. You know, the price is up. Who's going to buy watches, papi? Who's going to buy watches? Hay que estar loco. Hay que estar loco. Hay que estar loco. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an AP Royal Oak stainless steel chrono, blue dial, reference number 26331, 41 millimeter. Retail price is $36,100. We're talking about a stainless steel watch. We're talking about a collector's grave, collector's choice, collector's grade, collector's dream watch, you know? And if you don't get it full set, you don't want it, you know? Use slider condition material. You know, if you don't get it, you don't want it. But don't pay for that watch Does anybody know what I'm gonna say not to pay for that watch? This is a nice watch. Stainless steel, you know? Stainless steel. Okay, could be. 35 said Christopher. 35. Well, Christopher, I'm gonna tell you, don't pay for that watch. Don't pay for that watch more than $37,000. And it is, it's moving in the direction that Christopher just put out there. Right, guys? Be careful. Be very careful. And ladies and gentlemen, this is my last watch market of the evening. We're going to be talking about a Vacheron Constantin Overseas. Stainless steel, the 7900 dual time. 41 millimeter with the most beautiful blue dial in the watch business. It has a retail price of $30,900. And if somebody hits this one in the head, you're the champ. What is the number I'm going to tell you that I believe you should not, practice with? What number you think? I'm telling you, man, it's sad to see that Vacheron, but to be honest, even though that is $30,000, the watch, the retail price, you can still sell it. It's not like you buy how can I say? It's not like you buy a Hublot, right? A Hublot. Listen, I'm not talking bad about Hublot, but you buy a Hublot for, let's say, $35,000, and you'll be lucky. You'll be lucky if you get $6,000 for the watch. That's a terrible loss. But Vacheron is not there, but it's heading in that direction. It's holding something still. It's holding some value. Holding some value. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for that Vacheron Constantin Overseas stainless steel 7900 V dual time, 41 millimeter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But some people like that watch. Some people like it. Don't pay for that watch more. And I mean, ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for that watch more than $19,700. All right, guys? There it is. I hope this watch market update made you help you understand certain things that are happening. Be careful. I mean, don't be surprised if you hear some of your buddies telling you, hey, I want to get rid of this watch. I want to get rid of this one, because things are not looking very, very healthy out there. Yes, they're not looking very, very healthy out there. There is no longer, government free money out there no more. Right, guys? There's no more free government money. So be careful. Be smart with your money. Save your money. Respect to you, Dr. Eva, as well. Respect to you. Respect to you. Saludo, Ernesto. Sí, como no. A la orden. So be careful with your money. Be smart. All right, guys? Don't forget to please subscribe to our channel and like our video. All right? Don't forget. And then again, if you guys want a watch market update, please don't forget. Yes. Your 401k is going down to 310k. Whatever you call that, is there. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. If you want a watch market update, please don't forget to shoot me an email. It makes it easier for me, to keep tab. Like the gentleman, they asked me for 3 watches at the beginning of the watch market update. I gave him the 3 watches that he wanted. All right, guys? Anyway, guys, we also have a private watch group under my name, Juan Felipe Nieves, which a lot of guys have been putting a lot of different articles there, and it's beautiful because I even get to learn from them. I get to learn from all you guys. So keep it up. And thank you, Christopher. Thank you so much. Thank you. Again, take care and brush your hair. Have a good night. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.